Hey folks, welcome back to Edgeverse, where we break down the world's biggest geopolitical stories. Today, we're heading to the top of the planet for a topic that's heating up faster than you might think. What if I told you that the Arctic, that frozen wasteland, is turning into a high-stakes arena for resources, power, and maybe even conflict? The ice is melting, and with it comes a race that's got superpowers scrambling. In this video, we'll explore why the Arctic matters now more than ever, who's involved, and whether this could spark a new Cold War. If you're into global affairs, hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss out. Let's jump in. Picture this. For centuries, the Arctic was just ice, explorers, and indigenous folks braving the cold. But thanks to climate change, it's warming 2 to 3 times faster than the rest of the world. We're talking shrinking sea ice, retreating glaciers, the whole 9 yards. This isn't just an environmental headache, it's unlocking trillions in resources and new shipping paths that could reshape global trade. According to experts, the Arctic might hold 13% of the world's undiscovered oil and 30% of its natural gas, mostly offshore. Trillions of dollars worth. Plus, there's a goldmine of critical minerals and rare earth elements, stuff we need for EVs, wind turbines, and tech gadgets. Places like Greenland are packed with these, and as the ice thins, extraction gets easier. But who gets to claim it all? That's where the drama starts. Let's meet the players. At the heart of this are the Arctic Five, the coastal nations: Russia, the US, Canada, Denmark via Greenland, and Norway. They're the ones with direct shorelines on the Arctic Ocean, and they're asserting claims like never before. Russia's leading the pack here. They've got the longest Arctic coastline, and about 20% of their economy comes from the region. Moscow's pouring billions into the Northern Sea Route, or NSR, a shortcut from Europe to Asia that could slash shipping times by 40%. They've built the world's biggest fleet of nuclear icebreakers, over 40 strong, and reopened Cold War bases with high-tech defenses like S-400 missiles. It's part economic boom, part military muscle flex. Russia sees the Arctic as core to its future, but others call their control over the NSR excessive. Then there's the US, through Alaska. We've been a bit slow on the uptake. Critics call us the reluctant Arctic power. But lately, we're stepping up. More naval patrols, submarine drills, and finally funding new icebreakers to close the gap with Russia. We only have 2 right now versus their dozens. Our focus? Freedom of navigation and countering influence from Russia and China. Yeah, China's not even an Arctic nation, but they've dubbed themselves a near-Arctic state and are pushing the Polar Silk Road. They're investing in Russian LNG projects, building research stations, and eyeing those mineral deposits in Greenland. It's all under the guise of science and trade, but many see it as a long game for strategic clout. Other players like Canada claim the Northwest Passage as internal waters, investing in patrol ships and surveillance. Denmark's got Greenland's massive resources, and Norway's watching Russia's moves as NATO's northern eyes. So, with all these overlapping interests, how do they sort out who owns what? This is where it gets Tesla. The main rulebook is the UN Convention on the Law of the Sea, or UNCLOS. It lets countries claim exclusive economic zones up to 200 nautical miles out, and even more if they prove the seabed's an extension of their land. The big flashpoint? The Lomonosov Ridge, this massive underwater ridge running across the Arctic. Russia, Canada, and Denmark all say it's theirs, with claims overlapping right at the North Pole. They've submitted tons of scientific data to a UN commission, but resolving overlaps could take decades. It's tense, but mostly peaceful for now. But let's not forget the real locals, the indigenous communities. About 10% of the Arctic's 4 million people are indigenous. Their cultures are tied to the ice, and climate change is hitting them hard. Disrupted hunting, eroding coastlines. Yet, they're gaining a voice. In the Arctic Council, the main forum for regional talks, they're permanent participants pushing for rights in resource decisions. Can you imagine big mining projects without their say? It's adding accountability to all the state jockeying. Resources are huge, but the melting ice is also opening game-changing shipping routes. The NSR and Northwest Passage could cut weeks off trips between Asia and Europe, saving fuel and dodging pirates. Traffic's already booming on the NSR from 35 million tons in 2021 to targets of 150 million by 2030. Control these lanes and you control trade flows. But here's the shadow side: militarization. The Arctic's back as a strategic hotspot, like Cold War days. Submarines lurk under thinning ice, bombers fly polar routes. Russia's rebuilt bases and deployed missiles to guard their assets. The US and NATO are ramping up patrols, upgrading radars through NORAD, and running exercises to keep tabs. It's a security dilemma. One side arms up for defense, the other sees threat and does the same. Add in global tensions like Ukraine, and you've got risks of miscalculation in this remote, harsh spot. So, where's this headed? The Arctic's at a crossroads. On one hand, cooperation's got a track record. The Arctic Council, founded in 1996, brings together 8 nations plus indigenous groups for talks on environment, science, and safety. They've inked deals on search and rescue and oil spills, stuff that crosses borders. The environment demands it. A disaster here affects everyone. But conflict drivers are real: resource scarcity, Russia's assertiveness, China's ambitions, and spillover from global rivalries. The Council's got no military teeth, and ties with Russia are strained post-Ukraine. Could this turn into a new Cold War up north? Or will pragmatism win? In the end, the Arctic's shift from frozen fringe to strategic center is unstoppable. Climate change is the trigger, unlocking resources and routes while stoking rivalries. Russia dominates, the West pushes back, China lurks, and indigenous voices rise. The choice is now: diplomacy or escalation will shape global security. What do you think? Will the Arctic become a model of cooperation or a flashpoint? Drop your thoughts in the comments, like if this opened your eyes, and subscribe for more deep dives. Hit the bell for notifications. We've got more geopolitics coming. Thanks for watching, stay curious, and I'll see you next time.